Happy Thursday, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the show today. It's an exciting one. I'm pumped. New guests. But to you guys, it's going to be someone you see almost every day, if not every day. Old hat. At this point, it's true. But I'm not telling you yet who it is. Of course, you know it's probably why you clicked on the video in the first place. But we got a lot to talk about, man. We got The Flash. That's coming out. And finally, someone addresses the Ezra Miller situation, and there's a comment about it. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Across the Spider-Verse. I saw it. Roxy saw it. Question is, how much is it going to make? There's reports. Will we see a record-breaking, something making more than the last one? We'll discuss it, that and more. And don't you forget about Roxy's TV picks. I'm excited. So me, Roxy, and yes, Kris Carr is here. So we will be talking about all those things and more, but make sure before you even do it, show a little class. Just announce. 100,000 subscribers are trying to get there. We're almost at 80, and that's because of you guys. Hit that button. Do it. New York, New York, New York. We're going to be there, live show. June 23rd. Get your tickets. Getting close to being sold out. Everybody, myself, Mark Ellis, Double Toasted, Brett Sheridan, Jen Sturger, and, of course, Kate Mulligan doing the thing. But let's do the thing right now. Let's do it. It's a big thing. Cool. Yo, what's up, everyone? Back at it again. Kristian Harloff here. Me, Roxy Stryer, and Kris Carr.
Yay!
Kris, this is the first time we are actually kind of even meeting.
I know.
It's bizarre.
Which is very weird.
You don't know her?
Do you hear that when I said it
met
to you?
in person.
Yeah.
We would just swap chairs basically at Campia every now and then. I assume you just had to throw my butt pad somewhere because I'm shorter than
they didn't
everybody.
have to change the titles too much because we spell our names both with K.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Correctly.
We spell our
That's
names
absolutely
correctly.
that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
But every time I would hear Kris Carr, Kris Carr, Kris Carr. You have to
You
meet
have a
her.
very cute name. Kris
Thank
Carr.
you. Thank
I
you.
don't.
That's like a celeb name.
Thank you. My
Yeah.
married is supposed to be Chris Pete's, which sounds like something you'd eat when you're stoned and regret it. All those fucking Chris Pete's really messed me up, and so I can't
like
take
that
one.
too, actually.
Really?
Yeah. You're perfect for that.
Yeah, Chris Pete's, I would love.
I could see a Kris Carr, Roxy Stryer, double buddy cop movie.
Let's go.
I could see it
shit.
for sure.
So what do we have to do to get him in New York? What's the number?
Nah, it ain't gonna happen.
What's the
right now.
number?
But I got better opportunities coming up that I can't talk about yet.
What's the number?
What's the number?
Yeah.
Listen. You're the one that can fundraise better than anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
The
what you're
people at
saying.
home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We got to get you. You got to be able to get a hotel room and a freaking plane ticket, man.
All right, you guys heard him.
That's all it is.
I was gonna say people are generous. People
Come
love
on.
you.
Yeah, I want to go. It's
I know,
already
I get it.
kicked on all of a sudden.
The food bar.
Yeah, when I'm
Not a food bar.
You know
It's
my
the
can I
FOMO.
come?
The FOMO.
It would be
Foo
Foo
Bar's
Bar.
that new-
It would be Foo Bar.
Foo Bar's
it's
the
the
new-
Arnold. Come
It's
on.
the Arnold show, yeah.
I did not even know my show. I got to figure it out.
Yeah,
I
I've got
watch it.
FOMO, and so every time I keep seeing that,
Yeah,
just
I get.
like-
I understand.
I'm supposed to be there.
But no, it's a pleasure to finally get to talk to you, and we get to do it on air. And it's we never got a chance to be on the show together. But you're on John's show 4 days a week.
I'm on 4 days a week.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys never crossed paths, so every time she was there, you weren't allowed?
It wasn't a matter of
It wasn't
allowed.
allowed.
Yeah,
they were
it
like,
was-
"There's too many Chris's.
Well,
We can't."
it
film
sounds
it."
like that.
yeah,
Like,
maybe
yeah.
there's too much Chris with a K for
Yeah.
people to handle. No, but just never did, and then
Oh my God,
had the
did you
opportunity.
ever go by Chris?
My friends and family back in New York will call me that, but
Shut the fuck up.
I don't really.
I didn't know what you guys were just talking about.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
don't-
what does she think his name is? And then I was like, oh my God, it is Chris.
It is.
You are so not a Chris.
I know. So many people though, you know who calls me Chris out of our circle? I'll give you one guess.
Tom.
No, Kaiser.
Oh.
Permanente?
Yeah, right. I call him that as well. But no, he's a New York guy as well.
I've
but
never heard anybody ever.
My friends and family call me Chris, but I don't. My wife does not call me Chris because I do not really allow people to call me Chris because it's just not my name.
Even as a kid, you never went by Chris?
Just in New York, some people would.
As a little boy, did people call you Kristian?
I started to get it more and more. Yeah, I wouldn't because I don't think I respond to it as much too. I don't know what it was, but
I'm that way full name. If
What's
I-
your
Right,
name?
yeah.
I'm Christine.
Christine.
And in the South, I'm a Christine Marie.
where
And
are you from
so-
originally?
I'm from Texas.
You're from Texas?
Yeah,
Okay.
and my mom's from Boston. And so it's that
What part?
Christine. Dorchester.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's tough.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
I'm from Boston.
Oh, nice. What part are you from?
Newton, not
Oh,
as tough.
shit. Okay.
I'm
Awesome.
tough.
Yeah.
Newton's not tough.
That's
Yeah.
great though.
Yeah,
Yeah. If someone calls
very
me
close.
Christine though, I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
How did you get? So I don't know the full story. How did you get involved in this crazy space? I know you're a voice actor. I know you
Yeah.
teach voice acting as well
Do that.
too.
I have my own studio, Speak Friend Studio, where I
Yes.
teach stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, before I was working for iWin Digital, and I would do kind of nerd-centric sort of videos for them,
Mm-hmm.
where it was binge an entire show in a day and then write up an editorial on it and film that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I saw John's posting for it for his show. I applied to that. We had
He had a posting for a host position.
Oh yeah, he's
did,
done that a
yeah.
few times. He used to do
Yeah.
that for Collider too.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like a LinkedIn situation or a handshake or whatever.
I think it was
what-
Casting Network.
Yeah, he used to do that for AMC and Collider.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
so we had that
That's
meeting.
cool. Everything
It's
else
great.
is so incestuous. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know
usually
that
you just
anybody
know
ever like.
somebody.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how this is happening. I'm just like, oh, I kind of know you.
Yeah,
Let's
right,
do this.
right.
And then we had a callback kind of meeting where I was way too full of myself. And I was just like, you're going to hire me. I was like,
Did you say
"Okay,
that in the
yeah,
room? Amazing.
Yeah. I was a little asshole. I was like, you're going to hire me. I'm really good at this.
What year are we talking about?
This was 2018.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
2018 or
pre-Panini.
2019.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize
maybe
you do-
2019 because I think I
Okay.
worked for him for a year, and then something happened.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't doing movie news for about a year with that. I was still with iWin Digital.
Ah.
And then I came back this past year.
Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it just it was a matter of time before we did something together. We're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff today because you're a big comic book movie nerd, same
I
way
am.
through. So we're gonna talk about
Marvel, DC, all the things, Star
Mostly
Wars.
Marvel.
What's your jams?
Marvel's my big one, and Spider-Man and the Spider People are my jam.
Did
So
you get a
I'm
chance to
excited.
see it yet?
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's so we will not spoil anything for anybody, including yourself. But let me bring up this Variety article because I do want to talk about it. Hold on. All right, this is over at Variety. Brent Lang. The box office for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is swinging to $80 million opening. The Boogeyman is now eyeing a $15 million debut. How high can the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse climb? The sequel to 2018's Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is getting a lift from good buzz and residual fondness for its predecessor, one of the inaugural cinematic forays into all things multiverse. And while reviews are still embargoed, critics flip for this one. So assuming that the follow-up sticks the landing, yada, 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 what can it ultimately make? Yeah, it's like, so the question
Wow,
is how
Brent with a yada yada yada.
it's a
Okay.
yada, yada. That's a bit, well, they're saying that it's going to be out close to $80 million.
Okay,
right?
Kristian.
So opening weekend, yes.
Recalling you circa last week, well, maybe 2 weeks ago, you said you thought this was going to do significantly better than The Flash. How are you feeling now?
I still feel that way.
You think financially this is going to make a lot more money than The
Yes,
Flash?
and if you look at the tracking, I think you would say the same. How do you feel about this? First of all, let's start Roxy's question, Kris. Which movie does better?
I definitely think Spider-Verse, 100%. And this is a thing that I know a lot of people have talked about of like the average moviegoer. Do they know all the drama with Ezra Miller? Do they know all the behind-the-scenes things? I think a lot of people do because it's had a very kind of TMZ life. And this movie's been in the making for almost a freaking decade. I moved here when they announced this and we're casting this.
Wow.
So I feel like people have kind of teetered off of their interest for it. And I know we keep hearing all these stories of like, this actor really loves this. Henry Cavill supposedly loves this. Tom Cruise thinks this movie is amazing. I keep having people tell me how good this movie is. I just need to see it, I guess.
Sure.
But I don't believe that it's that great
It's-
and life-changing.
I'm not going to tell you that's life-changing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you it's a very good movie.
I've heard it's good.
It's a very good
Yeah.
movie. The best comic book movie ever? No, I don't
No.
think so. And if people go and see it and think that it is, I'm happy for them, and,
Yeah.
and then that'll help. I think it's a movie people should see in the theater. I think it's really good. I think, Roxy, there are a lot of different reasons why this movie is only tracking at $70 million, though. Like $70 million for this movie is not something that I think Warner Brothers and DC is probably super excited about.
Yeah, I think I'm on the opposite side of the fence as you, Kris. I went on a date the other day, and
Did it go well?
to talk.
Oh, yeah.
To talk later about.
All right,
'cause
all right.
Apparently not. I thought
Oh
it
no!
did.
Thank you,
don't
Chris.
read
That
the
will be a
room well.
topic. That will be a topic
But
right after this.
Point being, he lives in LA, but just is not in the entertainment industry. And he was like, "What's the biggest, buzz in the first date question?" So trying to get to know what I do. What's the biggest buzz in the entertainment space right now? So we're talking about Jonathan Majors. That was that
Right.
week when
Yeah.
everything was happening, and then he was like. And I was like, it's kind of like similar to the Ezra Miller situation. And he was like, who's Ezra Miller?
Right.
Not what
okay.
happened with Ezra Miller. Who is Ezra Miller?
Right.
Which made me realize, like, all the time we realize we're in a bubble. And then I asked my grandparents, they didn't know who Ezra Miller was.
And they
I
don't know
asked
the
my
story.
sister, she didn't know who Ezra Miller was. I called some of my friends from home, sent out a group text to my girlfriends. They did not know who Ezra Miller was. Not only do they not know what happened, they've never heard of Ezra Miller.
Well-
Ezra Miller is not an A-list celebrity
Right.
the way that in our space, like if somebody was sitting at this desk and said, who's Ezra Miller, we'd be like,
Why are you here?
what rock
Right.
have you been under? Right. But they're just not they're not a star.
Well, we forget anybody that follows any of the shows that we're on in general will know the story of Ezra Miller because we report on it, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the same camp because I did the same thing. We had this big conversation on the Friday show a few months back, and Winston and I were talking about it, and I was in your camp, and I'm like, the casual person I don't feel is caught up in this story at all, and I wanted to test that. So I was walking my kids to school, and I said to one of the parents,
Aw, good
and
dad.
I know. And I said, well, I left. I forgot they were in there. I had this conversation.
And then I abandoned
Then
them
I
down this
totally just had this conversation to prove myself right. And I was walking down the street, and I was talking to this guy, and I was like, well, let me ask you about this particular situation. And it was this very same conversation that you had. And I was Ezra Miller, and he's like, I don't really know who Ezra Miller is. And I don't know anything. But what I will say is this. I think that it's one of the main reasons that Warner Brothers will not be doing a lot of press for this movie.
For sure.
Because it will start to get more into the casual viewer, because when the press starts coming out, then more articles are going to be written, because if Michael Keaton's doing interviews, he's going to be asked about it. This story we're about to tell in just a second, someone's asked about it, and the word's getting out there more, so more of the casual fan will know. I just don't think that, because Ezra Miller is also not, what's he been in that has been the major blockbuster movie? I know you can say Zack Snyder's movie, and then he was in
The Harry Potter, the Fantastic Beasts.
right. He
Perks
was in
of being a
Perks of Being a
wallflower.
Wallflower.
right, but it's not
They were
not
really good in that.
Yeah.
yes, but not in the.
I mean, they are very good.
Yeah.
never been the problem.
incredible performer. The issue more so is that you look at like Jonathan Majors, right? Jonathan Majors was just in 2 blockbuster movies where he was kind of front and center on both of them with Ant-Man. Now, whether or not Ant-Man did the money that Marvel wanted it to,
Even Jonathan Majors is not a household name.
not in the. I think more so his name because of also you look at Creed, right? Is
Yeah,
it
I
more
think people
so than-
have seen him, but it's not like saying Michael B. Jordan.
No.
It's not
No,
like
no, no,
saying
no, of
Ben
course not.
Affleck. It's not like
of course
I
not.
think it's more of like an image recognition where you
Yes.
go, oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think that he, and between the two of them, I think right now he's going to be the one that they probably recognize a little bit more, even more so than Ezra Miller. But Ezra Miller is starting to get more recognition, and I think this conversation will come up. But either way, I don't necessarily think, though, that that's the only reason this movie's tracking at 70. I do think, even though it's a part of the inside the bubble, I do think that it has a lot to do with, well, what the hell's going on with these things?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that has to do with the marketing strategy too, Kristian, because it's not just that people at home, the average person, do they know that DC EU is coming to an end? It's just DCU and what not and moving forward. Maybe they don't know that, but they only know what the studios are telling. And the studios are not this. Warner Brothers is not saying you have to see this movie in order to move forward with DC the way that Marvel does that with their movies.
Yeah, it's kind of the actual opposite of, well, we're doing a blank slate. We're going to get rid of everything. We have all these A-list names, right? The Gal Gadots, the Henry Cavills, who aren't coming back. So then why do you see this movie is kind of it. And I understand that DCU is going to do Elseworlds, and there's totally room for all these kind of one-off things and everything. But again, if it's, oh, I heard that they're getting all new people. Do I even need to go see this? Are you going to prioritize this movie then? Or are you going to even get your tickets in advance? Because I don't know about you guys. I started checking out just like on my Regal app. Hey, do I really need to go get a ticket soon? Spider-Verse, my theater was like chocker-box
Right.
full. Whereas Flash,
It was
when
what?
Chocker-box full. It was really, really full.
What's a chocker box?
I
Just
love
a little-
I love that. I love this. I love when you get so like new
Into something.
Well, because you hear new terms, you're like,
Yeah,
I love
what's
this.
it? Yeah.
Your eyes like
Wait,
lit up.
what-
Go ahead.
what's a
Let's stay on this instead
Okay,
of
but-
Flash.
This is my family
Put
says.
a asterisk in chocker
We're
box.
gonna dog ear that. So
You guys also used another term earlier that I was like, what is that one?
What was that?
Like, I don't remember. I
oh,
got it.
man.
Dating.
Poor Roxy and her vocabulary.
Well, wait.
I went to like public school in Texas too, though. So sometimes I do talk wrong.
Wait, so you're saying it was full?
It was full.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very, very full.
It was
Whereas
chocker-boxed.
Where
Yeah.
the Flash ones, I was like, I can just walk to
You
the
were
theater
waiting,
that day.
right? Well, I mean, I think
Weird.
that I do think again, there is absolutely 100% merit in that, where there is a portion of people who are feeling, I don't know where this goes. I don't know where it connects. Clearly, Henry Cavill's not a part of it anymore, so I don't need to get my tickets. Now, there's other people who have no idea what the hell the DCEU ever was and if it connected at all. Those really casual fans, in the way that my wife is a casual Star Wars fan. She doesn't give a crap about Star Wars, but if Rey's in a movie, she's going to see it, right? That's that's not the same case. But what I will say is this, is that there are also the other portion of the fans that just want to go see the movie because Michael Keaton's in it.
Yeah.
And they're leaning on that because it's the people who have not seen a DC movie or a movie, the people in their 40s and 50s who lined around the block in 1989 when that movie came out, and they said he's back again after not being around since 1992, and now he's coming back. So they're leaning on that, as they should.
Yeah. All the marketing has been pivoted to Keaton. That's why it's Batman Flashpoint.
Yeah, it is. So go ahead, Roxy, you going to say?
No.
No, you were not going to say.
No, I was just remembering talking to your wife when I was leaving the studio, and I don't remember the specifics of the conversation, but it's something you had just seen The Flash, and I was asking you questions about Ezra, and even your wife was like, "What are you guys talking about?"
She said no. She said no clue.
What are you guys even talking about?
No clue. If you're in the space itself, it's inevitable. If you check up on movie news, if you're looking at shows like this, then you're going to know about it. But if you're just a casual fan, oh, that movie looks good, you have no clue, A, who Ezra Miller is, or B, what the hell they've done.
I have no idea if this affects anything. Probably less than I'm thinking that it affects, but I am one of the few people that I know that watched the Flash TV show all the way to its completion, which I don't know if you guys know was this month.
Mm-hmm.
9 seasons of the Flash finished this month. 9 seasons.
Right.
I watched every single episode.
So people like Grant, and they don't want to replace.
It was
Grant.
It was the worst final season of any show I have seen.
Ever?
Maybe ever.
Wow.
The final season was unbearable. This is a show that I used to absolutely love. It was unbearable. I feel Flash fatigue right now.
Okay.
I do love Grant, but like I think that show, at the Arrowverse, we've bitten with Barry Allen for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you love the Flash, you had that for 9 years, every single week. So also, I think it is different than some of the other big superheroes who, like, you don't get them as often.
Here's another element, too, I'll throw both of you guys' way. When it comes to Marvel, could be to blame for this as well. Because I've never succumbed to the theory of, like, people, clearly DC fans are DC fans, and Marvel fans, the hardcore fans, they exist. We know that. But again, talking about the casual movie fan, which brings in the dollars, right? They want to see a good movie. So I was always under the impression, I always agreed with it when people said it, a good comic book movie helps the business in general, and it scratches the back of the next good comic book movie because people want to see good movies in general, good writing, good acting, all of that. The last few Marvel movies have been, in my opinion, a bit of a letdown, and some of the stuff they've been doing on TV-wise has been a little bit of a letdown, and I think people have been a little bit Marvel fatigued in general. Could that bleed over to The Flash not doing that well?
It certainly could, and I don't think it's necessarily superhero fatigue, but it is mediocrity fatigue.
Yes.
Of I don't want to go spend all this money because it is expensive at the end of the day to go to a movie. It really is. If you don't have a movie
especially
pass,
for a family.
If you have a family and you're getting snacks for everybody, and you're not going to smuggle shit in like I do,
Right.
like it's going to cost a lot of money.
Right.
So there's that factor. And yeah, we've had these movies that have been really, really subpar lately. I mean, Ant-Man, in my personal opinion, was kind of just woof.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was excellent.
It's funny, but it's so funny, though, because Mark Riley, who I thought was going to love the Ant-Man.
He's golden retriever energy.
He
I
love
love
it.
those kind of
and
people.
and he hated it.
That's wild.
He hated it, and it's because, when I saw it, I felt, because I like science fiction, right? So like a different type of, in the way that it felt, in a different way. I thought that the end was chaotic and should have been completely different.
Yeah.
But I said exactly that. I said some people are going to come out this going, "Wow, this is really fun," but then other people are going to really think this
That was
movie
the
is
best.
ooh.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
it's
that
so
movie.
it's crazy.
Well, it's
yeah,
also
yeah.
subjective,
right?
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you a big
Yeah.
Rick and Morty fan?
No.
Okay. Because I
Yeah.
feel like there's a crossover with that too.
No, I don't
sometimes, just
love
'cause the
Rick and
writing.
Morty as
Okay.
much, which
Yeah.
I know is blasphemous to people.
Yeah.
Nah, I fell off that show.
Did
Just
you?
like I fell off the Flash.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
But I don't.
yeah.
it's okay.
But there's so many things that go into it, and then getting into really the meat of this story is that then you get Across the Spider-Verse, which is coming off an Oscar-winning animated first movie that people were like, oh, okay, an animated movie produced by Lord Miller, okay, that could be interesting. And it was just mind-blowing, right? It was so good, and they handled the multiverse in a much better way than I think Marvel has done so far, Marvel Studios has done. And
It's still so confusing.
But Marvel and Marvel Studios.
Disney Marvel, Sony
know.
Marvel,
Yeah.
who has the Marvel, even in the beginning of it, even some of the references throughout, it's still confusing.
Yeah, well, the Across the Spider-Verse, to me, again, no spoilers to those who haven't had an opportunity yet, I thought it was a really solid movie. I didn't ask you, did you like it?
Oh my God.
You loved it, okay.
You were out of there so fast that I was like worried that you didn't like it, because usually when you like something, you hang back for a second, but you were gone.
I had to get back to, it's a long movie. It's a 2-hour and 30-minute movie. It's long. It doesn't feel long.
Okay.
Doesn't feel long, but it's a long movie. And I wanted to film my thing, and then I wanted to get the hell out of there, and I wanted to go home. Plus the fact that I realized last night how old I am, because I'm sitting in that movie theater for 2.5 hours, and I'm
oh my
walking
God,
out. Yeah, go ahead.
He's walking down the stairs, and I said, "Are you okay?" It's like Mr. Limpy McGee.
No, it was Nancy Kerrigan getting hit in the leg by the Tanya Harding bodyguard. Yeah.
A girl the other day that I was out with had no idea who Nancy Kerrigan was, talking about feeling old. I was like, "You don't know?"
What?
And then I explained the story, and she was like, "I've never even heard of that story." And I was like, "Oh my God!"
But
Yeah, you were limping like
bad.
crazy.
She's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "No, I was sitting. That's what happened. I was sitting."
One thing, this isn't a spoiler, but I do think it's relevant for the people to know: no mid-credit, no post-credit.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So GTFO.
So I was right to get the hell out of there.
I was like, "Where are you going?" And he was like, "Just tell me later." And then there was no telling
I
him
didn't
later.
think that there was from the way that they set it up. But anyway.
But everybody sat their ass in the seat the entire time, and then.
But this is what I will say about the movie itself. I think that it's a very good movie. It makes you want another one for
You think
sure.
it's very good.
It's really good.
You don't think it's great?
I want to see it again, but I'd venture on great. Yeah, I think as far as a movie goes, storytelling, animation, the music is fantastic.
Okay.
You know, the first one focuses on Miles' story, but it also really has that team element. This focuses on Gwen for sure, but it focuses on Miles. I think it's Miles' story more so than it's part of that team and finding purpose and finding all that, which I think is great. I don't think it's as funny as the first one. The first one there's some funny moments in it for sure, and there's jokes, but the first one is way funnier.
I was laughing by myself.
Yeah.
So clearly most people agreed with you. I was like, ha ha!
There's some funny moments. But it's just like the first one with Spider Ham and Spider Noir, like boom, 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 boom.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think it's a 10 out of 10, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
I
this
think
one
the
as
movie's
dark as everyone keeps saying
It's
in
very
reviews?
dark.
It's
I
got
would
some
say
dark
it's
stuff, yeah.
as dark as the most recent Guardians.
Yeah.
Like
It's
That movie
comparatively.
messed me up.
yeah. It's got that. Yeah, there's a lot to it. What I loved about it, I should say, is that good writing, good character development, emotionally.
Chuck
man.
Bucks with characters.
Yeah, it
Chuck
was.
Box full.
Yeah.
Does that mean we should pay our writers in a good way? I don't, it's so interesting.
just-
it's
do-
like
are
there's
they
something
making
going on with that.
I know.
Can I ask too?
Yes.
Are the various spider people in this, because it's supposed to be like this one has so many spider
Mm-hmm.
people. It's got all the spider people. Is it mostly just there for the sake of cameos? Like, oh my gosh, bombastic bagman, that's neat. Oh, Spider Cat, yay! Or are they major players throughout as
Both.
well?
Yeah, mixture of both.
There's a few of what you just said, and then there's a few that are real consistent.
But
Okay.
yes, there's a mixture
Who's your
of both.
favorite?
Well, I don't want to ruin anything.
Oh,
I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to spoil anything yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a mixture. There's a mixture of both, and I think that what it does also is that what I will say about even the cameos is relevance. There's a reason why.
Okay.
It's not just like, oh, like
It's
you
not
said.
just like a wink at the camera. Hey, comic book fans.
I mean, it is, but it's also like, yeah, but see how we did that there?
Okay.
Like, it made sense to the story as why, but
There
it's
is
still
one-
like, hey, take this.
one
Yeah.
cameo that I don't understand.
Okay, you
the
have to, we'll have to talk
reference.
about the spoiler later.
Yeah, I when I saw the cameo, I was like, that must be relevant to something that
Right.
I'm missing.
Well, I wanted Coy next to me. I wanted I wanted to have Coy next to me.
I talked to Hector about the movie all
Okay.
day today
Okay.
for Only Stupid Answers, and he was like, and then this thing, and then
Yeah.
this thing, and I was like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of like, I think that you're going to probably lose your mind
Yeah.
watching it for sure.
Great.
And if you guys don't want to lose your minds, I'll tell you what, you better be using Athletic Greens. That's right. Athletic Greens will keep you ready to go. And sleep quality, all that and more. Both that and Mint Mobile. I'm going to tell you about both of them right now. Here you go. After years of print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So I heard about Mint Mobile a long time ago, and when they said they offer the premium wireless starting, it's like $15 a month. I said, yeah, all right, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it makes sense. There is no catch. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores, and they pass those sweet savings directly on to you. Quality's amazing. It doesn't break up. It doesn't. I set it up for a separate line, and I'm so glad I did. It's so easy. So easy. And for anyone who just hates their phone bill in general, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivering on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/thing. Mintmobile.com/thing. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/thing. Our next partner is Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens every day. And you know it's true. I've been telling you guys about it for, God, it's coming up on 2 years now, man. Or a year and a half. I give AG1 a try because Brett kept telling me about it. He's like, this is really good. You got to try it. And I did. And I love it. And I was like, it's green, but it's delicious. It really is delicious. You'd be surprised. That's what I get from everybody. It's like, you're right. It tastes really good. And you can get better gut health. You can get increased energy, immune system support, all of it. And I'm not a vitamins guy. I didn't like taking a whole bunch of vitamins. Now I just take AG1. I put it in the water bottle. I shake it up. Done. And it just makes me feel ready to go. I'm approaching that day. I'm taking it, and I'm ready to live. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's part of my routine. It's delivered to me every month. It's been very easy. You make it a daily habit. With AG1, you take care of your body, and it's just that simple. So if you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/bigthing. athleticgreens.com/bigthing. Check it out. Tell me that you've checked it. That's the one. I see it all the time. Finally starting AG1 today. Finally starting it. Finally starting it. Love it, love it, love it. Tell me and tag them and tell them that you found them from us. Link in the description. All right. Thank you to our friends over at Mint Mobile and Athletic Greens, AG1. You help out the show tremendously when you find one of these sponsors that we only bring these sponsors on that we think that you guys will like. So if you find yourself trying to get some more energy in your life, and I don't like those vitamins, man, I don't do it. I just put it in one bottle, shake it up. You're on it now, right?
Oh, yeah.
You love those Athletic Greens.
I really do.
They're the best.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good. Also, this is not as relevant as that. However, every time I hear the word mint, I think about the guy that I lost my virginity to.
Okay.
He used to always say
Mint?
that, yeah, I was.
Was that an instant?
No, sexy. I was mint, like mint condition.
Was that an instant regret after he said that?
No,
Oh,
it was
okay,
so.
you like that.
Like
oh my
how a
God!
coin
I used to
is?
think it was the hottest thing.
No.
He'd say
You're in mint, like a good baseball card.
in his phone, I was saved as Roxy is mint, and
Just
I,
like,
I
oh,
thought
shit.
that he was like this older guy next door, and I thought that was like
that was it.
oh my God! I thought him calling me mint was like the sexiest things I ever heard in my life.
Well, then no better transition to this. Let's tell about that date.
Yeah.
What's
That
going on
one?
with the date?
That was a
The
long
new
time
one.
ago.
No, this new one.
The new one that you thought went well.
Yeah, was it terrible?
Oh my God! It
What
was like
happened?
10 dates ago, Kristian.
What
I've
happened?
been
10 dates ago?
Kristian and Kris, Kris and Kristian.
That's right. Just say K with a Kris. K with a Kris.
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
K with a Kris.
I've been on so many first dates this month.
Again.
Oh, it's
How many?
sickening.
Let me guess. Can I guess?
I don't know.
Oh,
More than 7.
okay. More than 7. More than 7.
More
less
than
than 9.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, probably around 7. I've been on a lot of dates.
No
this month.
prospects. By
Okay,
the way,
there's this one guy.
Did Canada ever write back?
Nope.
Dickhead. All right, go ahead.
Nope. And I wrote him a text the other day. I didn't send it.
Why?
I didn't send it.
Oh, you didn't send
no,
it.
No, no.
All right, okay.
I have
You just-
literally
you
50
just-
notes.
you just
of-
drafted it.
Yeah. I wrote it. I didn't send it.
Okay.
I was ghosted. I was dating a guy for 3 months, and he just disappeared.
We talked
Asshole.
had him on. We didn't have him on the show, but we talked
Yeah.
about like this was one that we thought this was the progression one. This was the one that had the most.
He's
prospect.
the first guy that I've liked since my ex-boyfriend,
Yeah.
which was
Okay.
3 years ago.
And then it's out of nowhere. See you later.
Yeah, he texted me saying, "Baby, I got my visa. When are we celebrating?" And I wrote back when I was free, and then gone.
That was it. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it was fucking horrible. And somebody the other day really did in the comments. Everybody's like, "Roxy's such a bitch for this. Like, he's probably really, really dead or in pain or hurt, and she hasn't even checked on him."
Whoa.
Like, I called, I wrote it. Some of the comments recently towards me have been so fucking nasty.
Did I get rid of it?
Yeah, you have been getting ready to some of them. But about men, and it's like, then you guys don't deserve to know about my... I open up for you guys.
That's right.
Because you asked me to, and I think a lot of you guys are in the same boat. Dating is miserable. It's really fun and miserable.
Right.
It's both.
So you have no
and
prospects.
You
right
never
now.
dated in your 30s.
In my early.
You never dated in your 30s.
I did. I'm a serial monogamous, though. I'm on marriage too. I got married way too young and was married for a very short amount of time. And then I, like, forever.
How young?
I got married at 21.
Yeah.
And then got separated at 22.
When was your second marriage?
I got married 5 years ago.
Oh, see.
Yeah. And so I dated Logan for a very long time and kept doing that. I don't know if I want to get married again.
Yeah.
Also, I think maybe I'm the problem.
But
Maybe
so
there's
you just-
something wrong once people marry me.
The one guy in your 30s, then, though.
Yeah.
That's not dating.
I
in your
went on a
30s.
few other dates.
Oh, that's
And
different.
then I also had what he would call my accidental dates when I was still doing stand-up. Or I'd be like, oh my gosh, this guy really wants to help me with my set. And he'd be like, I'm sure he does. Go have a great coffee date. And I'd be like, he tried to fuck me in the middle of the day. After I went and got Starbucks. People are animals. And he's like, that's what people do when they
Starbucks,
date.
dude. Anybody who wants to go to Starbucks wants to fuck.
Apparently.
That is something I have learned.
That's a t-shirt.
You can't trust a coffee date.
That is the truth. I'm
Really?
not. Yes.
So everybody hyped up on
There's
on
something
coffee?
about, like, hey, you wanna
it's like
grab
the new,
Starbucks,
So it's a
it's
new
like-
Netflix and chill?
Chill,
Yeah.
totally. I'm like, I know what you're.
Caffeine and bang?
I'm on to you. Yes.
I just, like, I don't want to do that much for a $5 beverage.
Right.
Yeah, I know. But that's all they have.
What about a
Yeah.
latte?
I mean, that
Not even that.
only hand stuff, all right?
Yeah.
We're going to keep
For
it
a
very
latte.
junior high.
That's right. Don't get me started on what we could do with the egg muffins. All right. So, yeah, go
So
ahead.
that guy, he like lives in the woods. I don't know. I thought it
there
went
you go.
okay. He lives in the fucking woods. This is a new rich people thing.
Do you have to like howl to get them to come find you?
The rich people are the worst
Shine a light?
daters.
Oh.
The rich, you figure out really
He's rich
quick.
and lives in the woods?
No, yeah, you
Oh.
you figure it out so fast. Like you're on a date with somebody and just they'll say one sentence, and by that one sentence you'll know like, oh no, this person has like fuck you money, and that's never a good sign
Oh.
when you're dating because it's just like
So he chose to live in the woods and build a cabin out there
exactly
like Batman or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's living in the fucking woods, but he's from back east, so I was like, I could still probably fuck with him. Like, let's see, personality wise, we go on a 7-hour date. He takes me to stop A, B, C, D. He's like pulled out all the stuff.
Trying to show you the goods.
Yeah, kept telling me like I really wanted to impress you. We were talking
Right.
for weeks, and then
This is the Ezra Miller conversation person.
yeah,
Okay.
the next day, what happens? He texts me, follows up, great.
There's
Follows
no
up.
Starbucks.
Nope. Follows up the next day. Great. The next
He's rich.
day.
They go to Alfred's.
He's
Sure.
messaging me, but no
Nothing.
asking for a second date. So I was like, what is happening? So finally, after a week, I said something like something along the lines of when can we see each other again or something.
Right.
And he was like, I'm very busy. Like, friends are in town, sends me a picture of said friends in town. And I was like, great, no problem, let me know. Nothing. Never
Nothing.
again.
Ew.
Yeah, and it's
Gone.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Steph a few months ago, or I guess months and months ago now. And it's easier said than done, cliche, but you're just picking the wrong assholes. You really are. You're attracted to the wrong people. That's the problem.
How is that possible, Kristian? I'm dating
Everybody.
everyone. I'm literally dating everyone.
How are you meeting people? Is it apps?
Everybody,
Is it setups? Is
everyone
it
wants to
in the
set me
wild?
up, and I say, yeah, I literally will be set up with anybody because might as well try it.
Mm-hmm.
Apps on them. Circling back, trying. Like friends of people who aren't, or friends of friends of friends. Like legitimately, one of the guys that I was just seeing, we went on 4 dates, and then he messaged me, hey, when are you free? This is when I was shooting Crust. I was like, I'm free this time. And he was like, great, let's do it. I reached out to him during that time, gone.
Nothing.
And then I messaged him again. He was liking every single one of my Instagram things. I messaged him again. He was like, really good to hear from you. Nothing.
Nothing. Let me ask you a question. This is, I don't know. This isn't for the joke. This is for like for real.
Am I doing something wrong?
No.
Oh.
If you were attracted to women, do you think it would be easier?
I am attracted to women.
Oh.
It's not easier.
No. Have you gone on dates with women?
Yes.
When did that happen? You can tell us about that. That's amazing. When did that happen?
No.
I wanted to know because I've talked to you about this
Your
stuff.
headset fell off your fucking head.
But wait, but I've known you.
meme that.
I've known
I
you for
don't-
10 years. You never mentioned this once.
I've seen women before. I don't usually see
Okay.
women.
But But at this point,
they
why
have the
not?
exact opposite problem that
Oh.
no, I definitely, if somebody sets me up with a woman, I'll definitely go on a date. But I have my dating app set to men only for a couple of different reasons. Number one, this is a vast generalization, but as you know, I like move very slow. I'm like fucking petrified of this, and really, it's scary and hard. And women move really fast, like
There you go.
especially queer women.
Brass
They
tacks.
just move really fucking fast, and I need like months before I sleep with somebody, months before I can like feel comfortable talking to somebody. I want to only see somebody once a week at first, and I've never found a woman that worked with ever.
Yeah.
And also because, and this is like I guess would be the perks, the privilege of being attracted to men. It's more challenging to find a woman it's a more
Interesting.
challenging lifestyle.
Let me ask you something, Kris, because I want to know if you do the same thing that I do when I hear these stories.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's a fucking nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
This is kind of serious. Logan had a medical scare earlier this month.
Shit.
And so we had to go to the
Is
emergency
that
room
your husband?
and everything. Yeah, that's my husband. And so while we were in the emergency room, I was just like, I cannot date. I need you to understand that I can't. I don't want people to know my weird shit.
Right.
I don't want to explain myself again. I don't want anyone to know all my fucking picadillos. I can't do this. And he was just like, this
What's
is
a
not the time or
picadillo?
place.
Wait.
All my weird, like little preferences and things.
It's a real word.
Yeah.
Carry on.
This is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes me panic. And I don't have a lot of single friends still here because I had a whole bunch of friends who just like moved.
Yeah, I don't have a
afterwards, too,
single
where-
single friend. Not one.
Back to Texas?
Yeah, back to Texas
it's
or like
everybody
to
went
Chicago
Texas.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Or just
shit,
like,
man.
eh,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
after the pandemic, where they're like, I don't need to fucking live here.
Right. I know. It's just crazy, man. It's like anytime I get into
Brutal.
like an argument with my wife and everything. I think about-
so happy and lucky, and it's
No, look.
so hard to be single. Oh my
She'll
God.
tell you the same thing. Marriage ain't no easy ride.
Oh my God.
At all.
I take it 10 out of 10 times over this. It's a nightmare.
Take 2 kids with that.
Yeah, but you're in love with somebody and you have kids.
I do.
I would just die to be in that position. Die.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's another chapter in the Roxy saga. There's no doubt about it. But show the love, guys. And again, as you guys know, you will be thrown out of this store if there's not at least look. You can have conversations. You can have
But don't be a
Yeah,
twat.
don't be a twat.
Because
Don't be a
then
twat.
I just won't tell you.
Yeah.
right. You
And
tell
then
me.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, but not them.
And now I'll tell Kris.
I want to stay with the Ezra Miller stuff because there's another conversation here.
You do?
Yeah, listen.
What do you want to talk about?
I'm going to tell you in a minute.
Oh.
Okay. So, the Flash filmmakers address Ezra Miller's behavior. We have a lot of empathy for people who need help. That's the quote. This is. What happened?
It's
What I
the
said?
most backhanded. Well, we have a lot of empathy for people who fucking need help.
But wait, let's read it first.
Unbelievable.
Let's read
Way
it.
of
First.
phrasing that.
Hold on. Relax. Wait a minute. All right. So the Flash director, Andy Muschietti, recently made it clear that if the movie does get a sequel, he would want Ezra Miller to reprise the role of Barry Allen. That might not be his call. And the filmmaker and his sister producer, Barbara Muschietti, have now more directly addressed the allegations facing their troubled start. As reports of Miller's behavior grew increasingly more serious, there were a lot of speculation that Warner Brothers may take action by shelving the project. But as time passed and no statement was released, it became more and more unlikely. When asked if there was ever a legitimate possibility of the movie being canceled, Barbara says, not at all. No, that was never real. Andy then revealed that they are still in touch with Miller, who uses they, them pronouns, and are in full support of their recovery efforts. Muschietti goes on to say, we have a lot of empathy in general for people who need help, and especially in mental health issues. That's why they are taking the necessary steps to deal with their recovery, and we support them in that. And this is the I guess comic movie actually ends this with the essentially the conversation we were just having here. We're not sure how much general audiences know or care about Miller's actions, but we might find out when The Flash releases a couple of weeks from now, with the estimates not being particularly positive. Okay, so the one thing I will say this to you can address whether or not you think these comments are backhanded or whatnot. What I will say is, good on them at least addressing it.
Yeah.
Because no one's addressed it. thus
Yeah.
far.
This entire time.
Warner
Yeah.
Brothers has said not one.
No one has said anything and even acknowledged it, maybe because of the exact reason we were talking about before. They want to bring attention to it. And maybe, I'm not saying necessarily, maybe they were, when it comes to marketing and not bringing well awareness to the casual fan, maybe their approach was right in what they want to do. I'm not saying morally, I'm saying for what they wanted to do as far as financially, and not bringing it out there to other people. Because again, we know about it, but maybe if they kept addressing it, and then it gets more into the casual news cycle. How do you feel about it, Kris?
I mean, that could make sense.
Yeah.
And I keep coming back to my bubble because I'm like, my friends aren't all in the entertainment. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because even my friends who are like in insurance or other things, it's for movie sets.
Right.
So I'm taking that for granted. But it just felt so weird the whole time that this was happening because we had the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation happening too at Warner Brothers, and that seemed to get dealt with in a very different way than this. And I understand, and I also have empathy for people who have mental health issues. Who doesn't? I think you're kind of a monster if you don't. That being said, I got a bunch of shit for this on the internet because I said, this has been a lot of piece of shit behavior, though, too. They're not two congruent things. You can have mental health issues and not strangle people or hit people with chairs or do other things like that. And obviously, these are things that can exacerbate something else. But the lack of accountability has been very, very weird and off-putting the whole time, just because it does feel like, why aren't we treating everyone the same way? If there's any allegation or any issue, why aren't those things being addressed? Sure. Understand your average moviegoer maybe doesn't know about that, but it's just made me feel icky in my tum-tum the whole time.
But those who do should have the conversation, right?
I'm so with you. I think that this has been extremely detrimental to people with mental health issues.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is, a lot of people have mental health issues. A lot of people that we know have mental health issues. A lot of people we love have mental health issues. Ezra Miller has been accused of grooming two 12-year-old girls, and that they were accused of giving drugs, of sexually assaulting.
But accused.
Accused.
Yeah.
If these things are true.
Right.
They've also been charged with burglary and were on trial for 26 years in prison. There's two accusations on footage of assault, throwing a chair at a woman's head and taking three of assault. A chair at a woman's head, dart at the bar with a dart to the wall, and choke slamming that woman to the ground. So those are things we've seen on camera.
Sure.
The grooming are accusations. We don't know if those that's alleged. But these are things that when you say a sentence like, I have empathy for people with mental health problems. Yeah, no shit. Anybody who combats that's an ass. But I think that these are two separate things. Do the mental health issues make the physical violence worse? Clearly, that's the statement that they're making, and it is possible. And I'm not saying that those two things are not correlated. But also, has Ezra Miller now gone through extensive 3 years of rehabilitation? No, this just happened.
Well, don't make no mistake about this as well, too. And I think everybody knows this in general. If this movie, they would have tested this movie and it would have had the same kind of results and reaction that Batgirl did when they saw it, Ezra Miller would have been fired a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure. It's about money, you know?
And it's about the product. As we said,
because of money.
This is 100%. This is a really good movie. Andy Muschietti is someone that they are, I don't want to say, for lack of a better word, grooming to be the next big director inside of DC. He's going to be doing Brave and the Bold. It looks like anyway. So his statement, as he's saying, and I think I want to give slack to Andy Muschietti to where he is
absolutely. I have no qualms with him.
because he's not the representative for Warner Brothers. He's just trying to clearly say. And remember, this is also someone that Andy Muschietti, who he worked with in this movie, who he cares about Ezra Miller,
and he's also still at the end of the day selling a product too.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with the way that he said it. It struck me as funny.
Yeah.
I have a lot of empathy for people who need help.
Right. Who doesn't?
God, I hope so, Andy.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who don't.
Totally.
If you go on Twitter, you can see that.
I was going to say,
he's
the comment section.
Yeah.
Good, talented. I'm glad that he said something. This has nothing to do with him. It just, as you read it, it just hit me funny.
Right.
What a way to phrase that.
Well, what's more funny about it, I think, is the fact that he has to say it that way.
Yeah.
It's more funny in the fact because
that's where we're at in 2023.
I appreciate that he's saying it because I like Andy Muschietti a lot. I think he's a very talented director. I like every interview that he's given, and I think that he's very proud of this movie, as he should be. And I think that it's one of the reasons I won't say what the spoiler is, but he's given away spoilers in interviews now too, because I think now they're getting to a place when you're tracking at 70 million, you're going, well, what about this? Do you want to see it because of this?
Yeah.
And then you start to wonder, is this going to be because of Ezra Miller? Is this going to be because of the DC using kind of in shambles that it's tracking for? Or is it because of the Marvel, and as you said, I think brilliantly before is the mediocrity. People are tired of it. You know, it's like that's mediocrity fatigue, and I think that is all the obstacles that this guy's facing right now. Like Guardians had the benefit of having two solid movies being part of the old regime that people wanted to see how it's going to close out. So it did, and it still didn't make $1 billion. It still did really well.
Yeah.
But it didn't make, I mean, I hate that that's the metric now, is that it's $1 billion or it's a failure. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not. But either way, I don't know. I think, do you think that this, let's say hypothetically, and this is a question for both of you guys, if hypothetically this movie costs, with marketing, let's say $330 million, which is somewhere in the ballpark, I would say.
I think it's more than that, but yeah.
Is it? Well, something in the ballpark. We'll say 330. Does this movie break even, make profit, or is it a failure the same way that Shazam and Black Adam were? Kris, we'll start with you.
I'm leaning towards failure, but I also know that's my own bias of just about this movie. I think it has the potential to break even, though. I don't see it making money.
I cannot not see this making money. I think it's absolutely going to make a profit. There's
think so?
no way it doesn't make a profit. Yeah, because
Even tracking at 70 mil?
yeah, I think that this is going to make a profit because from what I hear from everybody, it's super fucking good. So
Word
I
of
think
mouth.
people, yeah, I just think people are going to, if you hear a movie is super effing good, you're going to go see the movie.
I think it makes a profit. I do
Yeah.
think it makes a profit, but I think that it makes a profit not in a way that DC's like, oh, we need to rush a second one into play. I think that this, and I don't think Aquaman's going to wind up doing as well as they wanted to either. I think this is if it doesn't make a massive profit, rather, I think this is going to be definitely the end of the old regime, and then it's just going to be, there was a reason why James Gunn said, we're leaving the door open for all possibilities, because that allows you to say, yeah, it's open, but there's nobody home.
But now you don't have to cross that threshold.
That's right.
I don't think, this is really what it comes down to, I don't think this movie can make enough money for Ezra Miller to return.
Right.
Despite what Andy Muschietti says.
Right.
This is the only person who can play the Flash. That is absolutely not true. I say this as an actor knowing I am fully replaceable,
Right.
and I have been, and that's fine, honestly, at the end of the day. Other people can step into these roles. We've seen it constantly with superheroes in particular.
That's right. And Andy Muschietti is going to be pretty busy.
Yeah.
In the next couple of years, because I think what this has done, I think he is the one. Let's say hypothetically, this movie doesn't break even, barely breaks even, and that's the end of it. There's no world when Andy Muschietti does not come out on top, even if it bombs.
Yeah.
He comes out on top because from what James Gunn is saying about him, what people who have seen the movie, like this is, if it doesn't do well, it has nothing to do with Andy Muschietti because he directed the hell out of this movie. And he does a great job, emotionally, character-driven, action, like everything you want from a director in this genre. Like I think this is one of the better comic book movies made in the last couple of years. I'll tell you that for sure. Not the hyperbole of the best of all time. I think that's silly, but it's one of the better ones, and it might be the best DCEU movie. It might be. I'm a big Man of Steel person. I don't know where you. I know you hate it, but you don't like it. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who aren't. But
I'm a Wonder Woman stan.
Yes.
I know you don't like the third act. I know.
Yeah, it's just the third act. The movie itself I thought was great.
I get it.
Fell apart. But this movie to me, it might be. And the Suicide Squad. I love the Suicide Squad.
Do you like Spider-Verse? If you could only see Flash or Spider-Verse across again, which would you see? I asked that so strangely.
I know what you mean, though. If I only have an opportunity to see one of the two.
In, out, up, down, across.
This has nothing to do with the quality of the movie, but I think I would take the Flash because
Has nothing to do with the quality of the movie.
No, because I thought Across the Spider-Verse was amazing. I thought it was a really, really good movie. I just think that out of the two of them, I think I'm part of that audience we talked about before. Like, I really wanted to see Keaton back, and I was so glad that we did. And I think he's great in the movie. And then I went to see Fast X in the theater, and they showed the trailers. And one of the trailers that I saw was The Flash. And I was watching it back going, I think I told you this. I was watching it back going, holy shit, I want to see this movie again. Like, it just brought me back to it's
a good trailer then.
It was just because I had seen it before. And I remember thinking when I was seeing it at CinemaCon going, did your husband like the movie?
He thought it was good, not great.
Right.
He kept acting it out for me over the course of CinemaCon. We'd be like, okay, so then in the second act, this happens.
Oh, so you know everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
You didn't give a shit.
You can just go through the entire thing with me. I don't care.
Okay.
But he feels like it kind of fell apart in the third act. He didn't like the reveal, the twist, where he's like, I can see this coming.
Yeah.
Okay, relax. You guys were doing that to me the other day too.
That didn't happen this time. All right. So we got some TV stuff to talk about in just a second. But before we do, I also wanted to tell you I've been really catching up with my health habits, everybody, and been using Green Chef, and I love Green Chef. Big fan. Have you tried Green Chef?
Oh my
Green
God.
Chef is a good one.
It's
They're
really
so
good.
Are they a sponsor right now? Hook it
I
up.
will give you the code. I'll tell you a
Green
little
Chef
more.
is so good.
Want to do the read for me? 'Cause look at this.
Their stuff is just delicious.
It's so good.
And it makes you feel really good after
does.
you eat it too.
Yes.
Yep, I'm in.
Green Chef is amazing. And RUMPL. Both Green Chef and RUMPL blankets, which I've been raving about. You guys know at this point. But let me tell you
Good,
about...
because it's freezing in here.
Okay, both right now. Green Chef, baby. Green Chef is awesome. It makes eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle. Doesn't matter what your lifestyle is, man. You're just looking to eat more balanced meals. Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preferences. You can fill up with Protein Packed. It's their newest collection of recipes fit for a high-protein dietary preference. You can choose from 3 weekly menu items, including at least 40 grams of protein per serving. You can choose from 50-plus weekly menu and market items with the option to mix and match meals from different dietary preferences in the same box. If you're craving more servings from a favorite recipe, you can double the portions in your weekly order just one click. It is the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. Green Chef has options for every single lifestyle. It does not matter. It's great. It's so good, and I love Green Chef because I've been getting, and you can turn to different meals. I've been making like this stir fried for a bit since we started with Green Chef, and I lick my chops every time it's coming around. I know, I can make that stir fry. Green Chef, you're reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery shopping. Welcome the spring season with delicious, easy-to-follow recipes that support your healthy lifestyle, and it tastes good too. Fact. Try balanced, crave-worthy meals fit for all dietary needs. Bring more flavor to your table this May with Green Chef's wholesome, elevated recipes. I take the chicken, put it in a stir fry. I love all the different, it's so good. Their chicken is no joke. You know what I love about Green Chef also is it gives you the ability to choose. You want all chicken, get all chicken. You want all beef, get all beef. Go to greenchef.com/thing60, but use that code thing60 and get 60% off plus free shipping. Again, greenchef.com/thing60. Use that code thing60, get 60% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, man, the #1 meal kit for eating well. RUMPL, 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 RUMPL. I love RUMPL. I love RUMPL. I really do. I love RUMPL. I've been telling you guys about RUMPL, and you know I love RUMPL because I talk about them all the damn time. It's on them. They're amazing. They're so good, and it's such a great blanket for a lot of different reasons. Like, I don't need a blanket to go camping. Then don't get one for camping. Get one for being on the couch and snuggling up. They do everything. And what's so great about them is that they're made with durable, sustainable materials, and they're built to last. RUMPL recycles over 5 million plastic water bottles a year. They are B Corp certified, climate neutral, and they donate 1% of all their sales to environmental causes. The original puffy blanket for them is their #1 bestseller, and they have over 1 million of them sold. But they have over 135 unique designs. There really is a blanket for everyone. They're not just for outdoors, as I mentioned. You can watch a movie with them, you can kick back in bed, or you can even bring them to the movie theater with you. RUMPL also has a huge selection of indoor styles like their cozy hemp, their fleece, their Sherpa blankets made with responsibility sourced materials, super cozy and perfect to keep on hand in your living room or refresh your bedding. So listeners of mine, go to rumpl.com/thebigthing and use that code thebigthing at checkout to get 10% off your first order. rumpl.com/thebigthing, code thebigthing. The link is in the description. See? Told you. RUMPL and Green Chef, so happy to have them on board. We only take on sponsors that we think you're going to love, and clearly our people on our show love. So Roxy's a big Green Chef fan. You should be too, and I love it too because what I like the most about it, as I mentioned, is I like to make like the stir fry out of the chicken, and there's so many different services that'll be like, oh, you have to take this, I don't want all your pork chops. I just want chicken. Give me chicken. Well, you can choose a chicken, you can choose all the beef. It's amazing. It's so fresh and wonderful. So Green Chef and
Give
RUMPL.
me your chicken.
Give me the chicken.
I just want your chicken.
I want your TV picks. So there we go. We'll start with this one. Look at that.
I don't feel like you have checked in on me enough this week, considering
After
what I'm
happened?
going through.
Oh, yeah, right. A lot of withdrawals.
I just want to. Okay, so the theme of this week is every show I've ever loved is coming to an end, and all of them had their series finales
Crazy,
this week. 4 of my favorite shows on TV had their series finale this week. The biggest one being Succession. Okay. could this show have stuck the landing anymore? I don't think so. They just did such an excellent job with it. I had all of my theories. This is going to be a spoiler-free segment because I know that I'm talking about finales and people are playing catch-up. I had all my theories going into this. I was absolutely wrong about every single one of them. I've never been more excited to be so wrong about something. But they were true to their characters and true to the sentiment and what the show set out to do and say. And it also proved to me that the creators understand that they have written a show about evil people that you're not supposed to like. They weren't like, but actually, we feel bad for these people at the end. No, it was like, stick it to the man.
Don't tell me that.
No, I didn't. I'm not telling you anything.
All right.
I'm just saying
All right.
they understand
All right.
that these people are cruel and evil and are going to do whatever it takes. It was amazing.
Okay.
Such a great finale. The best finale I have seen of any show in maybe 5 years was Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I cannot believe this series finale. I was so grateful what they did with this. I've loved the show. It's definitely had ups and downs. It has gone through some episodes where you're like, all right, that wasn't that funny. It was okay. And then it's gotten through some of the best episodes on TV. So going into the finale, I was like, I don't know. It's also a comedy. Having a perfect finale for a comedy is very hard, as we saw with Seinfeld being super controversial in its finale. I didn't particularly like it. How I Met Your Mother not having a great finale. A lot of these shows, it's just like, what are you going to do in a finale? But Marvelous Mrs. Maisel was like the most poignant comedy finale I've ever seen. I was bawling my eyes out watching this. For anybody who's ever wanted to make it, it just like touches upon that thing, which is every relationship you have, every person that you has watched you try to get to this point. I can't recommend this show enough now that I saw how they ended it. And Rachel Brosnahan deserves to win the Emmy this year for this performance. She's won before. She was just like, she brought the house down. It was so good. This is a season finale. The season finale of Yellow Jackets aired this last week. For those of you guys who hadn't watched season 2, I definitely think it is really worth your time. Is it as strong as season 1? Maybe not, because we already knew the premise, but it was still excellent, and they hit us with a huge bang in the final episode. If you're a horror fan, if you like those, is it supernatural, is it not supernatural kind of shows, and if you have Showtime and or Paramount, because it does that 1-2 thing, this show is really, really good. Excellent season for Juliette Lewis, excellent season for Melanie Linsky, Christina Ricci, just so many really talented people on the show. And the younger versions of all of them are amazing too. They did a great job with the finale. Curious to get Kristian's thoughts on this as well, but the Barry series finale was, as I saw on social media, a little bit controversial. People didn't love this final season. It did go from being a comedy to being a straight-up drama. And the season finale was very, I will put it this way, finite for a lot of different reasons. It worked for me. I thought that they did, they kind of made the only choices I felt like they had left to make. And I think that it wrapped out the story. Is this, one of the questions I asked myself for a finale is like, what did the show want me to feel or think? What was the takeaway of this? I don't think that this show has much of a takeaway other than like, you are what you do, so own your actions. But it was very well done. I don't think that this is going to be a show that people come back and revisit very often, but for what it was, I was happy with the finale. Kristian, how did you feel about it?
Well, I didn't see the finale itself. I'll tell you what. I watched season 1.
Okay.
And then I started to watch a little season 2, and then everybody talked about this one particular episode that happens in season 2. And like, it's some of the, I can't remember who told me, but it's one of the best episodes you're ever going to see on television. And I watched this. This is ridiculous.
What was it?
Somebody jumping on the roof and they're chasing some kid or something or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was something. I'm like, it's like, is this supernatural now? What the hell is this? I'm like, I like this show so much for what they did in the first season. I thought was phenomenal.
Really good.
And
then, funny.
Yeah,
yes,
really funny.
Yeah, and then I was.
Oh, you used to watch too?
I'm 2 episodes behind.
Oh, you're 2 behind.
Okay.
And I'm one of the people who's like, what is this season? What's happening?
Yeah, so I've never had an opportunity
Yeah, I'm
to.
curious what you think about the finale when you watch it. Then I gotta know because it's interesting. Yeah.
But so I'd like to. I love Bill Hader, so I'd like to revisit.
I don't think you're ever gonna revisit. I don't think you're ever gonna binge it, and I do think you're gonna finish it. And I think you're probably gonna feel mediocre.
It's very dismissive.
It's because here's why I would think you would binge
Because
it.
I've proven you that this is what I do.
No.
Oh.
Because if I sat here and said, this last season was so good, you have to get to it, then you would. But this last season was really
Right.
mixed.
So it's not to be. So it's not something. That, right. What I'll
So
tell
what are
you
you chasing, you know?
before we get you back to your picks, I'll say this. So Shrinking is a show that I have you watched it? It's the
So
best.
good.
It's the
The
best.
best.
It's one of my favorite shows in the last couple of years.
The best.
And I binged it when as I said, I avoided COVID for 3 years. I finally got it. Binged it.
Congratulations.
Binged Shrinking. Thank you. Binged Shrinking while I did and loved it. And I tried to get my wife to watch it. She wouldn't watch it. She watched the first episode with me.
She
right?
would love the show.
Wait, this is a happy ending to this story. So the first episode, she's like, and then I said, after I watched it, I'm like, you have to watch this with me. It's so good. And then so she watched it. She's like, I'm just not into it. I was like, ah. So we had a barbecue on Monday, and our neighbors came over, and they started talking about Shrinking. And I said, I'm telling you, listen, honey, come over and listen to this. And the three of us kind of went boom, boom, boom. Back. No, I'm not going to be able to convince her, but neighbors can, yes. And so the neighbors were like, hey, you should give it a shot because you got to build past like episode 3 and 4. And so today, when I came in, because she dropped the kids off of school, she was taking a break, I walked in, and she was on like episode 6. So she's already kind of binging through.
That's not what I'm thinking.
What? What are you thinking?
You had a barbecue?
Yeah, it was only for the kids. It wasn't a big barbecue with a bunch of friends.
Keep telling me you're going to have a barbecue, and I'm
I
going to
know.
be invited. You had a barbecue.
You
I
will.
wasn't invited.
Now, you wouldn't. You would have been playing cornhole with 11-year-olds.
As opposed to sitting
Dates,
by myself.
bad dates. Bad dates. All right, let's get to the last one. Hold on a second. There is one more, of course. And speaking of another show, I can't get my wife to watch.
You have not seen the Ted Lasso finale, or you have?
I
Okay.
have.
And you liked it?
I thought it was a good finale. I think it was a good season finale, though.
It was a good season finale. They have maintained the fact that it was a series finale, which to me it was not.
Yeah.
I disagree. They say it's a series finale, and I disagree. Of all the finales that I watched this week, this was my least favorite, which is such a bummer because I love this show so much. And the finale was not bad. But the one thing that I've wanted for the entire series, they didn't do. And I don't get why they made that choice. I honestly feel like Jason Sudeikis's opinion on love and relationships has influenced this show too much.
Oh, because of everything he was going over with his divorce and stuff?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is certainly
which is
possible.
totally fair.
Yeah.
And like, I get you're telling the story you want to tell, and you are allowed to do that in the most selfish, least artistically graceful way I could say this. I wanted them to tell the story I wanted them to tell,
Right.
and they didn't do that.
And this is what they've been tweeting at him and stuff about this?
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Who was telling me about it? Someone said they were tweeting. Oh, it was Mike Kalinowski said that for Ted Lasso, people were tweeting at Jason Sudeikis saying it was this is a letdown.
No
Let
way.
your personal life get involved.
Oh,
in this.
so other people think what I
so.
think?
Yeah, I
That's
think so.
hysterical because I haven't talked to anybody. But there was one thing that I needed to happen, and it didn't. And it was the way they went about it was just like, wow, what I thought you guys thought about this is not what you thought about this. Like what I was led to believe for years we were building towards
didn't
is
work out.
Yeah, it just is confusing to me. I don't know if you are picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm gonna have to talk to you after.
Yeah.
this.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, look, this is a TV picks. Thank you
Those
so
are
much
your
for
picks.
that. I appreciate it as always, and make sure that if you guys have not already been doing this throughout the episode, make sure you're commenting, whether you're talking about the Flash stuff, the Across the Spider-Verse, obviously the TV picks, anything we've talked about so far. But before we go, I wanted to talk about this with both our panelists here today. Let's talk about the summer movie season as we are pretty much into it now. And if your movie has already come up, that's fine. But what was your most anticipated movie of the summer in general, or coming up, or that you want to see that, or maybe like two of them? You can put 2 or 3. I don't care. But let's see, Roxy. What are
Barbie.
the 2? Barbie was number 1.
Barbie.
That's it.
Yeah, it's Barbie.
That's the only one you want to see.
No, all the superhero stuff and whatever.
But Barbie's the one. Like if you,
I
if you
want
have
to see Oppenheimer really bad too, but Barbie is by far and away.
those are the 2 that you're going to choose right off the bat. Is Barbie and Oppenheimer?
Probably, yeah.
Chris?
I was very Spider-Verse, which we've talked about, but yeah,
Yep.
Barbie and Oppenheimer, which I really want to do a double feature of.
Let's
And
go.
they come out
I
the same
think-
weekend.
Yeah.
They come out
Which
the
is
same
crazy,
weekend,
yeah.
and I want to go see Oppenheimer and then go see Barbie. So I can have a nice palate cleanser. I
Yeah.
hope at least. At CinemaCon, they kept talking about, oh gosh, this movie makes you cry so much. I was like, why?
Which one?
Why?
Barbie.
Barbie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people
Because
talk-
Oppenheimer's that's sad too.
Oppenheimer's sad as shit. If you've read American Prometheus,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's a messed up story.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
it's
saw the
real.
interviews with him afterwards too. He's just like,
Ooh.
it just that'll It'll change your
All I
change your
want is
mindset
Barbie.
for a long
Yeah.
time.
Barbie's coming out the week after my birthday, and
Yeah.
I desperately want them to let me throw a screening with everybody has to wear all pink, and it's my birthday party.
See, you guys
Does that
both
make you
have
a
picked.
Cancer?
Yep.
Okay.
You guys have both picked movies that it seems like from everything that everyone's talking about that you seems like you're going to be happy with. Oppenheimer's
I
one.
know you're gonna say indie. I'm sorry, man.
Indy is my most anticipated.
I know.
And I was still, and I'm still, it still is, but it's like, you know, my expectations have dropped.
Yeah.
And not just because, well, what do you care about critics say? It's just like because I've seen a lot of these critics that I've seen before that have been on similar. It's not like there's one particular critic who's hated everything that I've liked. It's people that have usually been on the same page with me.
I know. I already hurt for you.
It's so that could be it. But then for the rest of the movies, I mean, Oppenheimer for sure. Barbie, I'm definitely very interested in, but I think I've seen the.
Do you like the trailers?
Yeah, I didn't watch the last one.
Oh,
because I did, but on purpose because I was gonna like react to it. It was too late, and I said, well, I don't need to see it now because I'm gonna see it. So it's for me unless I'm doing it for the channel.
Transformers. You give a shit.
So I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm seeing it this on Sunday. I'm seeing Elemental tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing, or tonight, I guess.
It's gonna be far for you.
Yeah. Are you going?
No,
Oh no,
it's just far.
it's far. But and then Elemental, Transformers, which I have way more of an interest of seeing today when I knew that Stephen Caple Jr. was doing it. When I originally thought that Michael Bay was doing it, and I was
Yeah.
like, here we go. Just it's like more torture watching him do this. But I like Stephen Caple Jr. a lot.
Michael Bay movies are just filled with like balsa wood and sparklers. I don't understand them at this point. Where I'm just
all
like
it
everything's
is.
just exploding for reasons.
Slow motion.
Yeah. We get it.
Yeah, we get it.
I
But-
don't want to ask you this again, but they're filled with what?
Balsa wood and sparklers. So balsa wood was like the really shitty wood that you would get. This is gonna age me in like a shop class or a tech class. where
Balsa
they'd-
wood.
Yeah, it's just like really shitty, easily breakable wood that like really
knew?
bad sets that you can like throw people through will be made with a lot
Yeah.
of times.
I love how you've gone to class in this episode.
Totally. I got to know what the first word was that I'm
That we
going to go
both
back and
said?
watch. Yeah,
You
because
have
I
to
was like,
watch.
uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, we hope that you guys learned something on
Yeah.
this too. We're happy that you joined us. We're happy that you joined us on this episode. Obviously, Spotify. If you're on the Spotify, you should do that. We're on video. We're one of the few podcasts that are actually doing video on Spotify. So we hope that you join us over there. Apple Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. Thank you to our sponsors, obviously today, but thank you to our guests today, and obviously. Kris Carr, where can the good people find you?
Oh, you can find me on socials at actor Kris Carr, Kris with a K, Carr with 2 R's, or you can find me doing voiceover, speakfriendstudio.com.
Oh, yeah. And Roxy Stryer.
Everywhere at Roxy Stryer.
Look at you.
Yeah.
All right. And once
at
again,
me.
make sure that you head on over. If you're East Coast, man, I'm waiting for you.
What's it going to take, Kristian?
I already told you. So I don't think I told you at all. But 100,000 subscribers, hit that button, show a little class, just announce. And if you like that show a little class, why don't you get one of those shirts? That's what we do. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. This is delightful.
We hope that you join us again.
Yeah.
We'd love that. It's nice to finally meet you. And it was nice to finally kind of meet you and learn about you a little bit more on the air as we probably
Same. I was like,
we would
shit,
do.
he has kids.
Yeah.
I knew you had a wife. I didn't know you
got
had kids.
two kids, 11 and 5.5.
Aw, those
I'm-
are good ages.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. And we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.